My name's Anna Kavanabais, and I am endorsed by People's Party. The founder is Grand Chief Sepita Ipatas, the governor of Enga, and party leader is Dr. Tongab, the governor of Jiwaka. And I am running for the Port Moresby Northwest seat in NCD. I led the development of major policies in this government that's about building people. Why did I leave after 8 years? A good pay, good privileges. I left after 8 years because I got tired of fighting for budget for the youths, for the women, for the children, for the disability. It's like, the men in the parliament don't see them as priorities. And they keep funding all kinds of things, and they are not funding what matters in this country. The most important resource in this country are our people. And we have given and turned a blind eye to our people. So I came out after a good 8 years. I said, let me come out. Let the people of Moresby Northwest take me into parliament. I will be their best voice and their best choice. Why do I say this? Because I did those policies. I led the development of many of these policies, and I'm the best voice for them in parliament. Many of these men will not challenge me because they know I'm Anna Kavanabais. 8 years she was the secretary, 27 years in the department, and she has done policies that are about developing, protecting and empowering our people, but they are still not given the priority needed in this country. You talk about GBV, gender-based violence. A lot of men like to come out and condemn, the men in parliament, they condemn these acts. You are decision makers in this country. You share the resources and share the pie of this country, but you don't put it where it matters. And GBV is a major hindrance in this country, protecting our people, empowering them. When we do that, we will build this nation called Papua New Guinea. So I'm going in with I just keep telling our people in Moresby Northwest, if you vote along materialistic money things, you will still fail your children and this nation. I've done my bit for the country. 8 good years, 27 years, 8 of those as the head, and I've done policies that many were never done before in this country. So I'm looking forward to getting into that house. I feel that like doctors, to go to school, to be a doctor, you study medicine and you are there. You study law and you become a lawyer. Politicians, you don't have any school to go to become a politician. I feel that one of the best schooling for you is, of course, being a policymaker and a lawmaker. And one plus school where you reach the top level. Where else can you go after the top level? I don't want to go and be a high commissioner or ambassador. I want to try my hand at politics and see what I can do for an electorate. I couldn't do it for the country because it wasn't funded or supported well or given priority. Let me use the Moresby Northwest money and try implement these policies in Port Moresby Northwest. It's a sad indication of development in this country. When you have a balanced parliament, you can see around the world where there is balance in parliament, the countries have progressed. You don't just have male population in Papua New Guinea, you also have female population in Papua New Guinea. Men cannot speak on our behalf as women. I grew up a girl child with unemployed parents, and I struggled with my monthly needs, going into shops and having to buy Stay Free and Modest, which was very expensive, and I couldn't afford that. So I was a girl child in this country that grew up using, all kinds of pieces of, cloth, laps, napkins, towels, and these are things that men cannot speak for us in Parliament. We are happy to put free condoms in shops. That's by choice, but by design, we girls were born with needs, and that is just a simple example, practical example of the biasness in this country and the discrimination in this country. You need women in Parliament for a fair decision making, for balanced decision making, And this I've done through policy in terms of gender equality, in terms of removing barriers and making rights real. I've done a lot of policies to do with protection and empowerment of our people, and but not to see that practically is something that saddens me. And many in parliament, most of these men, they don't look at, you want to build a country. It's not just building infrastructure. You cannot be building roads and bridges and wharves and airports. You must also build the people of this country. What kind of people do we have in this country? Many illiterate, they don't know how to read and write. Many children, grade 8 school leavers, they're just babies that were born yesterday. Today they're out on the streets. So I worry about that, and men don't speak about that in parliament. They're busy still talking about building great infrastructures in this country. The problem in the last 47 years since we gained independence is we have not built the people in this country. What kind of people? Children, women, disability, elderly, families, communities, and even the informal sector, which I am very passionate about. And so that's my take. You need a balanced voice in parliament. You need balanced leadership in parliament. You need balanced decision making in parliament. You cannot get that if there's only men in parliament. Just think of your house, your little house. If there was just men and no women in that house. Just think of your community. If there was just men and no women in that community. That's the same at the national level. That's the big house of this country. The big house cannot be just run by men. It needs women in that parliament to progress this nation. So that's my take on no women. It's a sad day. We had women in parliament, and then every other area we've progressed. We've got women who are doing a lot, like they've entered the male dominant workforce. We've got women that are flying planes. We've got women that are doing a lot of engineering work. We have women in all sectors. Just women in politics, we have not progressed. We have actually regressed as a nation. We've gone backwards. And so I'm hoping and I'm looking forward to this election. I believe that we're going to get some women into parliament, yeah. Yeah, my challenges as a female candidate, and this is my second experience. I tried the by-election, my first experience, and I've learned the good, bad, and ugly side of election in this country. The challenges of why we are where we are today and how we've made decisions on who we send into parliament. It's not about quality leadership. It's always about who has the money to help you with your house cry, help you with your school fee, or buys you a canned Coke. A lot of the decisions to do with electing a leader has been aligned to materialistic support, those that can give you before the polling day. So it's like, what can I gain out of this before I elect you? That is the biggest problem in this country. And my challenge is, of course, funding. Funding is an issue because a lot of men, they play money. They play money, and you can't compete with that. We move around with our policy and what we stand for. All I tell people is, the major challenge for me is, of course, funding. And number two, the biggest one I see is the culture of electing leaders. My simple vision is to improve the quality of lives for our people. Just simply improving the quality of lives for our people. Look at how the country has transformed and how it's grown in terms of infrastructure, but look at how our people are. If we can grow them like how we are growing the city and the nation, that is something that's my dream for Port Moresby Northwest. At least a smaller group of people, if we can grow them and improve and better their lives, like in a community you have children, women, disability, elderly. When you are moving, building them in terms of programs and like literacy programs, financial literacy, aligning grade 8 school leavers to vocational training, to other training institutions so they are not hanging around, aligning your projects in Port Moresby Northwest to addressing unemployment issues in the country, especially for our young people. It's not hard. We can create employment for them. We need to align them to the projects. If I want to build a road, whoever the contractor, you win him this contract, you employ unemployed youths in that community so that you help empower them, so that it helps them to get another job later. Same with water. If I want to put water into communities, it's about how many unemployed young people can become plumbers after helping to complete that project. It's the same as schools. If I want to build classrooms or clinics or hospitals, it's about how many unemployed youths can be employed, how many of them can complete the project and come out with the basic, certificate in carpentry, in welding, in bricklaying, in plumbing, in electrician, you name it. Why? Because a lot of our young people do not have certifications. They are hungry. They just want to find a job. I want contractors that win the contract to align to a training institution. I don't care how you do it. You want this contract in Moresby Northwest, you align with a training institution so that when our young people complete that job that they help you with, they can at least come out with the most basic certificate. Why do I want to do this? We have a lot of projects happening in our country, and we will have a lot more interest from overseas coming in. And a lot of them, when they come into our country, one of the common languages is we do not have the skilled workers. We don't have the Save Manna Mary in those areas. That is why you see when a Chinese company comes, they bring all their China men to come and work here. And our young people are just watching. And so for me, it's not about just criticizing that. It's about criticizing and providing a solution. And so when they come into our country, I can happily say as Moresby Northwest member that I do have road construction workers. I have bricklayers. I have welders. I have carpenters. I have plumbers. Please help them to grow to the next level. And that for me is what empowerment means. This country has been spoiled with handouts during elections. Handouts. And the real meaning of empowerment is not there. I know we all know the saying, you give the man a fish and he will fish for a day. You teach a man to fish and he will fish for a lifetime. We say it, but to actually do it, do we know what that really means? Yeah, that's the handout mentality that has destroyed this country during elections. I want to ensure that we improve the quality of lives of our people, and it's important to build our people. We must build our people. The simple table mama, table papa, they cannot live like that and feed every day on the profit they earn. They need financial literacy, how to grow their little business to the next level, how to improve their business environment, how to get a little bit of loan from the bank and how to grow it. They don't have that training. They don't have that financial literacy help. And those are the kind of help I'm talking about. Many men won't see that as development because they need people to see real changes, real buildings for them to be praised and for people to say that, yeah, man mak blame so yimi baboti mem. Let me tell Papua New Guinea, the problem in this country and why we have not improved is because we have not built the people of this country. So that's my aim. While I balance infrastructure, I want to balance building people. I have some great plans. I even have a draft funeral policy for Port Moresby Northwest already, because you can't use DSIP. I don't know where all these other leaders are getting their money from to help house cries. You really can't use DSIP. So I've got a small draft policy that I can't wait to apply in Moresby Northwest. It's all about empowering people. So yeah, I've got a great database already created for me so that I know my population, who they are, where they are, what kind of job do they have, if they are working, what are they. I need to know how many plumbers I have, how many teachers, how many, it's important. It's a simple application that can be used. And then if you are not employed, are you into informal sector? Yes, what kind of informal sector? Buai smoke or clothes or bilum or earrings or fish or garden kaikai? I want to know. And then I want to know if you are totally unemployed. And that's important for me. I also want to know if you're a person with disability, if you are, what kind of disability, hand no good, leg no good, eye no good, wheelchair. I need to know. Because these are my people that will need development. So you can't guess fire. In this country, we've been guest firing for too long. We need to have proper database to make informed decisions. And so I have a draft. I already have a complete database. Yeah. So if I don't get in, somebody, these current members or whoever gets in, you need to find me and I can help you as a consultant. But otherwise, I've created this for myself as a leader going in to help my people of Port Moresby Northwest. I've loved this journey. By-election was stressful for me. By-election was stressful because I allowed the community and I allowed the people that have run elections, they took lead, and it was the culture of elections in this country that was used. So I had the base camp at Gerehu, I had committees, I had cell houses, you name it, how they run it in Moresby during the by-election. But I realized, I learned many lessons. I learned the good, bad, and ugly side of elections, so I've corrected myself. And these elections, I'm enjoying the elections. I'm just enjoying the journey so much. And I find myself smiling a lot. Why? Because during the by-election, I noticed that when I opened the base camp, I opened it for all the problems in Moresby Northwest to come in. So I had people sitting there with death certificates and school fee requests and kind requests. And so I was thinking, goodness, I'm not a businesswoman and I am not the current member, so how do I deal with this? And I tried to help a few house cries, especially for children. I have a heart for children. So I tried helping some house cries that children died. But I realized that I helped 5 house cries. I didn't help 17 house cries. They were angry at me. They said I'm not a leader. I didn't have money. They didn't want to vote for me, so I lost. Same with Mother's Day groups. I had like Mother's Day requests come in to celebrate Mother's Day, and I helped like 6 Mother's Day group. I didn't help many Mother's Day group, and the Mother's Day groups that I didn't help, they were not happy with me, and they didn't vote for me, and I lost. So this time round, I've learned many lessons. So, I told them, I know that one house cry can text how many different intending candidates. Whoever give more people money or by talk leader MDisla, they vote for you. How many Mother's Day group, they can text how many intending candidates for a big cake and for some money to celebrate Mother's Day. Whoever helps them, they will say, leader MDisla, and by type la cake play me, so me vote him. No can worry, lol, napla. They are not leaders. They don't have money. Don't waste your time. So you see, that's how we have aligned leadership in this country and how we have voted. So after learning all of that in the by-election, today when I'm moving around, I've told people I don't do house cries, I don't do school fees, any kind of request I don't do, because that's a form of buying votes. It's like I help you first and you vote for me. No way. I'm not doing that. And I tell people the truth that if I help you, my experience from the last by-election, if I help you, I don't help this group, they won't vote for me. So fair, I will not help anybody. Let me get into the parliament and then let me see how I can empower you. I am not about coffins. I am not about house cries. That's not a form of empowerment. Empowerment is building the next generation, building people so you are able to look after yourself. I hope people that go out and poll, to the polling on the 4th of July in Moresby, take a good look at your children and go and vote and understand that power that is in your hand and that power you're going to transfer to somebody else when you put an X on their name. So understand that power. When you go and you're going to vote, look in power lo handle you and tell yourself, the person that I'm going to put an X on, I'm saying I trust him or her. I believe him or her. I I have confidence that when I put X on their name, the 10 million every year and the 50 million every 5 years for Port Moresby Northwest will be used to develop the electorate as well as its people, build its people. When you put an X, you are saying, I trust you, I believe you, I have confidence in you. When I vote you into parliament, you will be my voice. And when they go into parliament, now mouths pass and they don't speak, then you don't have a voice. And a lot of them go into parliament, they realize that parliament is too big for their heads. And they don't speak. And when they don't speak, you don't have a voice. Why we are like this today is a result of how we voted yesterday. So the question that everybody needs to ask before the polling is, how did we vote yesterday? You know, you cannot complain for services if you ate a 10 kina or 50 kina or a scone or a lamb flaps. Service you kisim pinisia. One kind service you pine him. I keep reminding the people. The next time you want a service for your child in the hospital, you think about how you gave your vote. And so I've been challenging the people as I moved around, but one of the main message I gave is, Port Moresby Northwest, we've had 10 elections so far since independence. 10 of those elections, we have voted men into parliament. If you are happy, yes, you can continue to vote a man. If you are not happy, you are tired of seeing the way things have been, I think it's about time you try a woman. Get a woman into parliament and let's see what she can do for you.